Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today for Baylor Premiere. We're super excited that you guys are taking the Saturday morning to learn a little bit more about Baylor, some of the academic programs. With us today, we have the Department of Art and Art History. We have Professor Force and Professor Llewellyn. They're going to give you guys a rundown of everything that happens in their department. Feel free to use the question feature to ask any questions throughout the presentation so that way they can at the end cover any questions. If there's anything admissions related, I can help answer those, but otherwise all of those are going to be directed to them. Otherwise, take it away, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll get started.
All right, good morning. I don't have a screen that is showing anybody. I don't see any faces at all. I don't even know how many people we have out there listening to this. My name is Greg Llewellyn, and I am one of the several professors that teaches in the foundations area of our department in studio art. I teach drawing, introduction to drawing, 2D design, and Professor Force, who is going to be manning the questions in chat room, is a professor that teaches 2D design and 3D design. So I don't know, many of you may have interest in studying studio art or art history. And you may be asking yourselves, why would I even consider a place like Baylor University? Baylor's known for a lot of things, known for a really strong law school. We're known for a really strong business school and other areas that we have quite the reputation for really excelling in. And the art department and the Department of Art and Art History, to me, is one of the hidden jewels at Baylor University. I graduated from Baylor University myself, my BFA in studio art, printmaking. It took me quite a while to get it. I started back in the 70s, right out of high school, and I didn't come back and finish it until in the 90s. So it took me 20 years to get my BFA degree, what most people take about 4 years to get. I compressed all that into 20 years. So I'm a real overachiever, if you want to believe that. But anyway, why would you want to consider coming to Baylor University? You can go to any number of art schools and get an education in art, be it studio art or art history. One of the trends that we're seeing and have been noticing across the country in art schools and art departments is a movement away from the basic grounding and foundations. In other words, learning how to draw, learning how to paint, learning how to design things. And it's more now, there's so much emphasis placed on conceptual art. That's all fine and good. But if you don't know how to draw to begin with, how are you going to express what's really in your mind conceptually? And so I take a great amount of pride in the fact that our department still puts an emphasis on observational drawing, learning how to draw what you see before you. If you can do that, you can draw anything. And so we really place an emphasis on that. Our art history department is an excellent art department. All of our art professors are published art historians, and you will get a fine education in art history. So the thing about studying art here at Baylor, let me see, I would like to go through our PowerPoint that we've got here. I'm looking to see how I can share that with you. I may have to ask Mr. Rivera to just do that for me. If he can bring that online. Okay, here's my share screen. Okay, hang on, it's disabled. Mr. Rivera, if you would able that screen share, I've got my PowerPoint pulled up and ready to go.
You should be able to do it right now.
Okay. Okay, do we have it? How's that? I apologize for the technical glitches. Are we good to go? I don't hear anybody.
I still don't see it, sir.
You don't see it. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. Okay, I've got the screen share button. I'm sharing it, hitting screen share, share, and now what do we see?
Perfect.
I'm on screen sharing. Okay, good deal. Got it. All right. Thank you, Professor Force, for your assistance. Okay, so the Department of Art and Art History. I'm going to roll through here. We're contained within the what is called the hoop. The students call it the hoop, the Hooper Schaefer Fine Arts Building, which contains the drama department, theater, but also the visual arts and our art history department, as well as the Martin Museum of Art. This is the outside of the main entrance to where you would come in on the theater end. Just real quickly, I'm going to scan through some of these slides here and discuss briefly what's going on. So art history, you would get a well-rounded education in art history from ancient art. You'll see the slide there in the middle is one of our students that actually participated on an archaeological dig in Israel. Students are presented with possibilities to go stand in front of original works of art by some of the great masters from anywhere from the Renaissance to modern art. We take field trips from time to time. And the Martin Museum of Art, we have regular, several, as a matter of fact, exhibitions every semester and year of art that is being created by professional artists all around the world. So there's that kind of opportunity that you have in-house right here in the art building. And it's also available to us as instructors and you as students to go and actually look and study art. We're in 2D design. Sometimes we'll take my students down and we'll go stand before the art and we'll discuss it using the terms of design, the elements and principles of design, and discuss why pieces of particular artwork work together to make a cohesive composition, those kinds of things. So you have that right here at our fingertips, basically just 50 yards down the hallway. So our foundations, like I said already, our foundations will give you a good, solid foundation to build on as an artist. Doesn't matter what you want to do. If you're going into photography, taking introduction to drawing is going to make you a better photographer. It's going to hone that skill as an artist that you'll need as an artist to make you a better photographer. If you're going into sculpture, you will be able to draw plans for a particular sculpture, to sketch out what it may look like or how you want it to look beforehand, before you go to the expense and exert all the energy to actually try to create it in 3 dimensions in whatever medium you're working in, be it welding or wood sculpture. If you're working in clay and doing ceramics, the same thing there. You can thumbnail out all kinds of designs for a particular pot form that you want to draw, that you want to make in clay, but you can sketch it out beforehand because you'll have the skills to do that. So our foundations is really important. They include the prerequisites for all of our art majors. You'll have to take a beginning intro to drawing. You'll take 2D design, and then your 3D design. Those are our 3 basic prereqs that you have to take as a studio art major. So those will give you a good foundation to be able to proceed into the upper level courses that you'll be taking. And we have 7 different areas of study. These are some examples that I'm showing you. These images are out of student designs that we've done in class. So just real quickly, thumb on through here. 3D design is a whole different animal. I don't get into 3D myself, but I certainly took it as a underclassman back in the 70s. Don't remember much about it, but I did take it. So 3D design, and then you move into the other areas of specialization. We offer 2 degrees in studio art and 1 degree in art history. The BA in art history, the BA in studio art, the BFA in studio art, and then we also have a Master's of Art Education. So if you're interested in teaching art, we have a degree plan where you go and you finish a BA or BFA in studio art. Then you can spend one more summer and your tuition rate gets locked in at the undergraduate rate, and you go for another year and you complete your master's and you leave school with your BFA or BA, whatever route you've chosen to go, and your master's simultaneously issued, plus certification to go right in, teach any level in school that you would like to teach. So that's a pretty neat deal. That's a new program that we have for us. It's in conjunction with the Department of Education. But so here we have ceramic design. This is one of our areas of concentration. We have, I don't know how many wheels we have, but you'll get an opportunity to throw lots of pots, coffee cups, whatever you decide you want to make. Plus you'll do slab design and create sculptural ceramic designs. It just depends on what you want to do. When you get into those upper level courses, you're encouraged to pursue what your vision is for your own artwork. Okay, you have that freedom and liberty to do that. So these are just some examples of student work that's come out of our ceramics program. We have an emphasis, specialization in fabric design. And you'll learn all kinds of things a lot more about fabric than I've ever learned. I know that it wasn't available when I was in school, but fabric design is one of those specializations. And we've had students come through this program that have gone on to do internships in Italy with major clothing designers, come back to New York and study and do internships in some of the major design warehouses in New York. So our students get attention because of the grounding that they have and the education that they get here at Baylor. Some more examples of students' work from the fabric design. I'm going to come through here. Graphic design. This is our largest area of concentration, meaning that we have more of our students going to graphic design than any of the other concentrations. Part of it is because of, and I don't know how many parents we have listening in on this, but part of it is because parents tell their students in high school, well, if you want to study art, by golly, you got to be able to get a job when you can get out of school and pay for this education. And graphic design seems to be the most logical route, although that is becoming less and less so. And there's a reason for that. Although our graphic design is a very strong graphic design program. They do package design, they do layout, posters. I mean, anything that you want to do, can think of graphic design wise. They have a semester in it, or they will touch it. Computer design, web design. If you want to be a web designer, it's not a full-blown area of concentration, but you will learn how to do that. You'll take a semester or two in web design. So you get a great feel for it. And if you're in the BFA route, which is way like our studio students to go, if you want to come out at the other end of your education, go into a career as a producing artist, the BFA route is how you want to go. And I'll show you why in just a little bit. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But graphic design is one of our stronger departments because they do so well at placing our students in internships and getting them jobs when they do graduate. So there's some more examples of some of our student work. They get a lot of internships during their time here. Then we move into our painting. Painting is another area of concentration, kind of the classic. If you're an artist, you know, most people, oh, well, you paint? Well, not all artists do, but a lot of them do. And there are all kinds of possibilities for artists now wanting to pursue a career in painting. It's not like it used to be when I was back in the 70s, and I was a painting major to begin with, and wondered, okay, what am I going to do with it? How am I going to make a living with my art? Produce. And back then, you had to pretty much have a gallery representation. Maybe several galleries that you could get your work into. And so it's like the gallery owners or managers were the gatekeepers to the art world. And you had to go through a gallery to be able to make your stuff available to the public to be able to buy. That is no longer the case. We have students that have graduated from our department that have gone on their, I know one gal graduated, she was actually in graphic design and had taken some painting, while she was here, and she decided she didn't want to do graphic design. She wanted to be a painter. And she is now, she does wedding paintings. I'd never had heard of such before this, but she goes, people pay her to come and set up an easel at their wedding, and she paints kind of spontaneously the wedding as it's in progress. And that becomes a gift to the couple that's being married by some of the parents or friends or whoever wants to give it as a gift. And she's been flown to Hawaii and California. She lives in Colorado now, to New York and different places, and sets up. She does wedding, and when she's not at a wedding, she paints from her studio and sells her work online. So we have several artists that are students that are doing really well in their early careers as painters. So that is definitely a possibility for you. Here we're moving into, let's see, photography. A lot of people think they want to be a photographer. Well, we have the specialization that you can do that. You'll know everything you need. You start out in black and white photography with actual film. You shoot film, black and white photography. You learn how to develop it. You learn how to expose the negatives to begin with. You learn the relationship between the aperture settings and the amount of light, which controls the amount of light, and your shutter speeds, and how to control that to get the results you want in your photographs. So these are some examples of some student work that has come out of our photography department. Then we go into printmaking. I actually ended up with a specialization in printmaking. And printmaking, you will learn how to do lithographs, traditional lithographs, which is an over 200-year process, 200-year-old process. On stone lithographs, you see the image there with the man in the orange sponge. That is Kyle Shapu. He's our professor of printmaking. That's a lithographic stone that he's working on there. You'll do intaglio, which is etchings and engraving. You'll learn woodcut, which is relief printing, and you'll also learn silkscreen. So you get exposed to all the basic methods of printmaking. Just sculpture. We don't have too many sculptors coming through, and that's a shame because we have a really strong sculpture program. Our professor, Robbie Barber, does a great job, and you can decide whether you want to specialize within sculpture with either metal sculpture, and you learn all the welding, cutting of metals and how to put them together, or you can do wood sculpture and how to manipulate wood in so many different ways. It's just a fantastic program that we have for sculptors. This is one of our students, Sam, here in the middle, that did a great job in sculpture and is going on and working in that area. So here are a list or showing of our degree plans. Like I said, the BA in art history, then we have the BA in studio art and the BFA in studio art. And I want to point the difference out, the major difference. If you look at the BA in studio art, it says 42 hours in studio art, okay, in art. For the BFA, you get 81 studio hours. And the difference being, you get that much more additional training in the studio, making art, going the BFA route. So it's twice the amount of studio time. So if you really want to be a working artist when you leave here, the BFA is the way you want to go. Then we have a minor in art history, and then we have the minor in studio art as well, which is available. And we have a lot of minors in studio art and several in art history that pursue that route. So the Masters of Art and Teaching, here's some quick bullet points about that. It's available if you want to finish out your BA or BFA, then you can segue right straight into the Master of Arts in Teaching through our education department, and you come out totally certified to teach anywhere you want to teach, basically. And it's a lower tuition rate, and there's no GRE exam required to get into the program. So that may be a real incentive for some of you. And here we are back to the Lewis Art Building. So I don't know, how much time we have left here, but if we have any questions that would like to be asked, here's some of our guest artists that we've had come into our actual studios and classrooms to discuss what's going on in the art world in their particular specialization. So, Mr. Rivera, if you could, I don't know if you can open it up where we can, how much time do we have left? I'm not able to keep up with the time on it. Can you open this up for questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a few minutes left. Thank you so much for kind of going over everything. So far, we don't have any questions in the chat, but I guess one of my questions that I do have are what makes our program different? How do we differentiate between a school like, for example, like TCU or SMU, who are kind of on the same realm in terms of education, but how are we different than them?
Okay. One of the ways I already alluded to, mentioned, was specifically our emphasis on foundations. I don't know what TCU and SMU do, particularly in their art departments, but I do know that what we do is able to give our students a very strong foundation to go out and pursue their art careers they want to. The other thing that I would love to emphasize here um, would be um, the aspect that is emphasized by the university quite a bit, but I want you to know that it's an honest thing, and that is our Christian education that we try to give our students. Um, I uh, don't know how SMU or TCU might claim that title anymore, Southern Methodist or Texas Christian University, but Baylor University is a Christian university, and we're proud of that fact. We're proud of the fact that we give our students a Christian education, not just in name only, but in the classroom. I've had students, I've had people, friends of mine that know that I teach here, and I've had several of them ask me from time to time, well, Greg, if you ever lost your job or something happened, would you go teach at, say, Tarleton State or somewhere else? And I've always told them no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go to the University of Texas or anywhere else to teach at a public school, because I teach here at Baylor University because of the Christian emphasis and because of the freedom that it gives me as an instructor to share my faith. I mean, I don't do it in an overt manner. I don't bring my Bible in and start preaching the gospel at them, but I'm able to share life experiences which can lead to conversations about what it's like. What does it mean to even be a Christian? I mean, I've had students in my classes that were atheists that began to ask me questions. I had a student from my last semester. She was from Russia. She was she was an athletic scholarship student, and wanted to take an art elective. She ended up in my drawing class. And just from me sharing about my personal life experiences, I just got an email this week from her, how much she appreciated that. And she is now pursuing a spiritual walk that she never had in her life before. And that's just the kind of thing that is available to us here at Baylor University. And that's not an afterthought either. That's a purposeful, planned thing that you get at Baylor University, the Christian aspect of an education.
Great. And then we have time for one more question. So someone asked, could you tell us a little bit about study abroad opportunities with the art history program?
Okay, there are a lot of opportunities for that, and Baylor encourages that as much as possible for our students. Now, we had a program with SACI in Italy where you could go study in Italy at their school, and unfortunately, it has just transpired this last year, they actually went out of business due to the COVID pandemic. And so we are in the process of searching out other partners in Italy and possibly other areas in Europe. But I do know that Baylor continues to pursue the study abroad program, and you can go and you can take art history courses in England, in Scotland, and other areas. And like I said, our art history professor, Dr. Nathan Elkins, has been involved in this archaeological dig in Israel for the past several years, and things like that happen. They become available to our students. So that is a real possibility, and it is encouraged.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Professor Llewellyn. We really appreciate you being here and sharing your expertise about everything that Baylor has to offer with the art and art history department. Thank you guys so much for coming out and learning about the department and what we can offer you guys in your education and your studies. There are other sessions throughout the day. Always definitely feel free to reach out to us, Professor Llewellyn and Professor Force, with any questions you guys have as you guys are going through the application process. But enjoy the rest of your Saturday morning, and thank you so much, guys.
Hope to see you.
All right, bye bye.